to show you how things are different, right? Genocide is different than crimes against humanity for a number of reasons. We see, right? It's almost the same, but this intent is different, right? Genocide is different from war crimes for many reasons, right? Genocide is different from ethnic cleansing for at least one reason, right? One might say, however, what's the distinction between ethnic cleansing and crimes against humanity, right? When we're talking about ethnic cleansing and crimes against humanity, it seems as though, Dr. Campbell, you're saying exactly the same thing. And I'm not saying exactly the same thing because with respect to intent, I could classify this intent different, right? Though I'm targeting with the intent of purging a specific group of population, so I might have another condition of intentionality built into my system to make a clear distinction, right? Or with respect to ethnicity, I could have a categorization of specific type of targeting, not just this general label of targeting, right? Targeting of, and then I would delineate racial, ethnic, and so on and so on and so on and so on, right? So it might seem that crimes against humanity and ethnic, and I understand that that is built into the system, are the same. It's, as I said, it's just a general tool to give you some very, very general understanding on some of the distinctions between crimes against humanity, genocide, war crimes, ethnic cleansing, and mass murder. And as I said, I don't in any sense intend for this to be sort of an exhaustive account of all possible conditions. This is an introductory lecture that's available to the public. But what I want you, everybody who's watching this, to understand is the point of this is to show sort of systematically a process how you can, not necessarily me, but how you can, if you so choose, if you're studying this stuff, and I know many of you are, if you're studying this stuff, what you can do is you can construct a system similar to this with a little bit more precision, right? Build in a little bit more precision. You might do an entire system just on intentionality, right? And various forms of intentionality. You might do one with targeting, and the targeting of specific groups as their own columns and so on, so that you can clearly demarcate one from the other. The whole point of the exercise then is to show the delineation, the difference in concepts between these five categories, these five concepts, so that we avoid equivocation, right? Because the worst thing that you can do in formalizing any argument, in formalizing any theory, in discussing anything, is to assume two different senses in how you're using your words. Because once someone points out that you've equivocated, your argument basically goes, right? It goes down the drain. What I wanted to do in the video today was to introduce the idea of genocide, sort of this foundational lecture, this grounding lecture on this idea of genocide in an ongoing series of genocide, right? We recognize that Raphael Lemkin, a jurist, coined the term. We understand that genocide is a combination of intent and action. We recognize that there are 5 actions that individually classify as an act of genocide when coupled with corresponding intents. We recognize that Article 2, in the same document, right, in the Prevention and Punishments of Crimes of Genocide, we recognize that Article 3, rather, talked about the 5 ways in which genocide is punishable, by being complicit, by allowing, and so on. We went into a discussion on the idea of what we mean by dolus specialis, right? What we mean by specific intentionality. And we talked about specific intent briefly. In later videos, I'll reintroduce this idea and flesh that out a little bit more. Also, I'll go into a deeper analysis of sort of the definition that Lemkin proposed and compare that definition against the UNGC Article 2 definition of genocide, pros and cons, blah, blah, blah. And then lastly, I sort of just put it all out there to try and show you some differentiation, some differences between types. Granted, I acknowledge the fact that crimes against humanity and ethnic cleansing, for the purpose of this sort of very foundational, rudimentary discussion, have exactly the same sort of typing, right? And obviously they're different. I've then said that with respect to ethnic cleansing, I could create a next category, a subcategory of sort of ethnicity to further demarcate ethnic cleansing from crimes against humanity. but you get the idea. All of this is open to debate. All of this is open to speculation. So hopefully that was educational. With that being said, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I'm Dr. Jason J. Campbell. Thank you, and have a good day.